That is a big step for a woman in a dress, let me tell you. So, good morning everybody, and I am only going to take a few minutes of your time. My name is Chris White. I'm with Frontier Energy, and I'm working on a project for the City of Sacramento to look at what carrots and sticks the city might put in place to encourage more charging infrastructure. The city's goal is to support 75,000 battery electric vehicles, well, zero-emission vehicles, by 2025. To be frank, Sacramento doesn't buy that many cars to have that many as passenger vehicles, and we really want to encourage more battery electric and zero-emission trucks, delivery vans, buses, because as you all know, not only does that help us get it to the goal, but every big vehicle we take off the road is more CO2 reduction that we're looking for. So the question I have for you, I want to throw a couple of ideas, things that we're considering, and I want to see smiles or scowls or thumbs up or thumbs down on what we might do to encourage this. First, for just a minute, let's focus on passenger vehicles. You may know that the California building codes require charging infrastructure along with new construction. And it's this term that's called EV capable. It means that you have run the raceway in the panel capacity, but the plug's not there. The city is considering upping that so that, and this is only the city of Sacramento, not the county, upping that so that every new construction would be EV ready. It would basically have the plug, a dryer outlet plug where you could plug in. And we think that would cost about $200 more per outlet than what EV capable is. So, anybody here have heartburn if I told you when you build a new building, we're going to require you to spend an extra $200 on a plug? Ooh, Gina has heartburn on that one. Okay. So our next consideration is a little bit novel, and maybe this might apply to y'all more. Right now, the stick for putting in EV infrastructure is tied to building a new building. We are considering about including that with a parking lot structure. So right now, if you go and redo your whole parking lot, not just paving or striping, but like tear it up, do some things to it, you have to comply with other things, bike parking, tree shading. We are considering requiring that you apply with EV infrastructure as well. And that EV infrastructure could also be for medium or heavy duty vehicles, which makes a lot more sense in places that don't have lots of customers, employees parking. How would you feel about that? Okay, I see some nods on that. And you know, the funding like Cali VIP would apply for those things as you do it. We're also thinking about as you upgrade some of your electrical infrastructure in the parking lot. And that might be putting in new street lights that are more energy efficient, adding a solar canopy, adding anything that requires electricity already run to put a plug in that. And you can put a plug in those things, just a regular 110 outlet, for less than $100 per structure. So the question that we also have on that is if you imagine your parking lot that suddenly has plugs in all the light posts, is that business friendly or business unfriendly? I don't know, you're going to have campers parked there, people charging their cell phones. Keith? They wouldn't be, and in fact, the $100 would just get you a plug where you could charge your cell phone in the middle of the day. A little bit more than that would get you a only EV outlet that you couldn't plug a cell phone into. But then you could add to that at your own expense or someone else's expense and put on a level 2 EVSE where you could charge money. So we're having like that base requirement, and then you can plus up. Yes, ma'am. If we do this, and let me be clear that it has to go through a public input meeting, and we're not at that point yet. If we do this, it would be at about 50%, if you were doing a 50% cost upgrade on the parking lot. And that often happens if you're tearing it all out and pouring it again, or adding more parking spaces, or putting in some type of shade structure. So it would not be for minor things. It's exactly the same as tree shading and bike parking in the current code. All right, now let me ask you about some incentives. Other than giving you buckets of money, what could the city do to encourage, incentivize you all to add more charging infrastructure for customers, employees, or your work vehicles, or add more work vehicles that are running on batteries or fuel cells? Any ideas? Right. If there was something other than money. I do. So a couple of examples is, and this may not apply to you all, is that one option is the city has minimum parking requirements and people like to build fewer than the minimum. We could say, if you add charging infrastructure, we will let you skip the minimum and you only have to put in that one spot. Right, and there are things that I know, but there are things that I don't know that you all know that you could say, this would be a big benefit for me. Maybe it is being able, the City of Sacramento as well as the county have some lending funds that they give no interest loans for businesses to make energy efficiency upgrades to their business. It encourages things like putting in solar or developing a workforce plan or putting in some type of transportation management plan like a car share program. Would it be an incentive if that program was extended to allow you to have a no interest loan to put in charging infrastructure or to buy vehicles? Okay, Keith says yes, but since he works for the county, I'm not sure we can go with that. So any other thought off the top of your head? I would really like to get the city off my back, and this would be a great way to incentivize me if I could make them stop doing this and start doing this instead. I know, no one wants to shout it out on live TV. So, well, think about it. Contact me if you come up with an idea, if you think of something good. The last thing I want to ask you is about your workforce. We're also looking at ways that we can beef up the workforce. And I'd like you, if you could just give me a show of hands, types of jobs that you think you're going to need in the next 5 years. The first is to have service technicians who can work on the vehicles. Raise your hand if you're going to need those in the next 5 years. Awesome. Service people or electricians who are going to install or work on the infrastructure. Fewer. People who are going to be able to collect data from your vehicles, analyze it, and make really informed decisions from that data. A lot. Those of you who raised your hands on that last one, how many of you work for a private company, not a government? Okay, excellent. My last one for you is kind of weird. How about customer service people that know that they're supposed to show up for work on time and be nice to people when they answer the phone? Everybody. I'm finding that from every business in the state of California. If the city were to stage a customer service boot camp where we brought in young people and older people, taught them what employers expect from their employees, made them practice skills like answering the phone and dealing with customer complaints, and taught them things like EV terminology that maybe they don't understand but our customers do, would you be willing to participate in that boot camp and possibly participate in a job fair afterwards for those who graduated? A few. Excellent. All right. That is the end of my part of the presentation. I appreciate the time to talk to you and get some feedback. Hearing what real people have to say about our ideas is instrumental in putting together programs that become economically stable and feasible and make money for business, not just need ongoing support for the rest of time. So any other ideas that you have, I'm going to leave. My contact information is here. I am not going to stay because I have to go to another meeting in Davis, but I really do want to hear from everybody. And you can talk to Jarrell here. He's my partner in crime for the project. So thank you so much.